How's it going, everyone? K Steel here, and welcome to another episode of Beta Quest. One of my favorite SNES games of all time have to be Secret of Mana, and the recently released in the West, Trials of Mana, a part of Square Enix's Mana series, universe, whatever you want to call it. They're very simple action RPGs that have a feel that is pretty similar to beat-em-up games, but that simplicity combined with the scale and dynamism of the story, characters, world, and exploration is what makes me love them to death. Sure, I never really had the chance to play any of these games back in the day, mostly due to not being born at the time, and because Trials of Mana was, at the time, a Japanese exclusive. But with the series managing to make a return after a minimal presence in the 2000s and 2010s, I was able to catch up on this awesome series of games and finally see what the hype was all about, and I was not disappointed. However, years prior to that, I had always been researching and looking into the Mana series, finding gameplay videos and hidden facts about these games. During my searches, I came across something very interesting. It was an advertisement for a game on the Famicom Disk System titled Seiken Densetsu Emergence of Excalibur, a doozy of a game that was tragically cancelled. And I really want to talk about it. So, today on Beta Quest, I will be talking about the cancelled Famicom Disk System game Seiken Densetsu Emergence of Excalibur. The year is 1987, and Squaresoft, then on their deathbed and leading a union called the Disk Original Group, has trademarked the name Seiken Densetsu, the Emergence of Excalibur, translated as Legend of the Holy Sword, the Emergence of Excalibur. This mysterious Excalibur project was shown off on this flyer sometime in mid-1987, showcasing some artwork by Miki Han, who was handling the game's art direction, and these few screenshots, the only ones ever released from this project, although it appears that the game was advertised on other things as well. Excalibur was created by Koichi Ishii and also included Hironobu Sakaguchi, Hiroki Tanaka, the aforementioned Miki Han, and Kazuhiko Aoki, I think I pronounced all their names, I apologize for that, as part of the game's development staff. Apparently, Excalibur was going to be a massive action RPG project released exclusively on a Famicom Disk System, spanning 5 whole discs, or about 4 to 4.5 megabits, to be released sometime in April of 1987 and with an asking price of 3,400 yen. The story apparently involved an unnamed hero who was going to go on a quest for the legendary sword of Excalibur, needing to go to Burdos Island and fight the evil villain Virgus? I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I'll put it on screen. Who knew Birdo had an island? It was apparently advertised that Excalibur would have spanned multiple generations, which would have been integral to the game's story and gameplay, although the exact details of this are unknown. Alongside the hero were other characters in their party, who would have been controlled via the game's AI system. The game was impressive to the public and pre-orders were being sent out already, with the public patiently waiting for one of Square's most ambitious projects yet. So, what happened? It seemed like Square had it all under control. Well, as I've alluded to before, 1987 was the year Square was on the verge of bankruptcy, with their previous gaming efforts being financial disappointments that were costing the company money, particularly the Disk Original Group games, which were underperforming pretty badly. The 5-disc Excalibur project, despite being very impressive at the time, was just too costly and ambitious for a dying company. On top of that, the Famicom Disk System was also losing popularity with consumers at the time, so it would not have been a financially intelligent decision to release such a costly and ambitious game from a dying company on a dying system. In October of 1987, after several delays, Square publicly announced the game's cancellation, issuing apology letters and refunds for anyone who pre-ordered the game, suggesting that players pre-order a different ambitious title instead, Final Fantasy, which was released in December of that year to tremendous and surprising success that saved the company. Apparently, the game did not get that far into development, although exactly how far it did is difficult to say. The screenshots, artwork, and some of the game's statements seem to suggest that the game did get past concept stages and was somewhere in the coding stages before it got cancelled. But I'm not too sure as to how far into coding stages it got. Despite the death of Excalibur, the name Seiken Densetsu would not be lost, as it was decided to use the name for an action RPG on Game Boy, Seiken Densetsu Final Fantasy Gaiden, or Final Fantasy Adventure in the USA and Mystic Quest in Europe, and it also seemed like the game did inherit some ideas from Excalibur, such as the AI-controlled party members. The Game Boy title ultimately spawned the beloved Seiken Densetsu / Mana series, and the rest was history, as they say. But there you have it, the Legend of the Lost Seiken Densetsu or Mana game on the Famicom Disk System. In a way, it's a little unfortunate that we never got this game, as it seemed like it was an ambitious game that would have been awesome to play. But I can understand its cancellation. Square was on the verge of dying, and it was best to just stop any projects that would have sped up that process. While unfortunate, it does seem like the Mana series did manage to inherit some ideas from this project, such as it being an action RPG with AI-controlled party members, so in a way, we did get Excalibur all along. But I mean, I still wonder what could have been, you know. Still need to work on that time machine. This has been K-Steel with Beta Quest. I'll see you all later.
This was a Kobalt Steel video by MS Bernie. Like, comment, and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Until next time, see you all later.